You walk into a dog grooming salon with your fluffy, beautiful, slightly ridiculous-looking dog. The groomer smiles at you and says, "So what are we doing today?" And you look at your dog. You look at the groomer. You look back at your dog and you say, "Can you make him look better?" And the groomer just stares at you because better is not a haircut instruction. Welcome to Next Level English. I am Maya, and today we are giving you every single word, phrase, and sentence you need to walk into any pet grooming salon in the English-speaking world and walk out with exactly the dog you wanted.
Hey everyone, Tom here. And Maya, I have genuinely done this. I stood at a grooming counter and described what I wanted for my dog using hand gestures and the phrase, kind of fluffy but not too fluffy. The groomer nodded very slowly, like she was trying very hard to be kind to me. My dog came out looking like a completely different animal, a different species possibly.
A different species. And that is the problem right there. When the vocabulary is missing, the dog pays the price. And today, we are making sure that never happens again. Because here's the thing. Pet grooming is not just brushing and washing. It is a whole conversation. It is a consultation. There is vocabulary for coat types, cut styles, specific requests, sensitive areas, add-on services, and how to describe exactly what you want for your very specific, very precious, very opinionated dog.
And if you do not have a dog, this episode is still for you, because the vocabulary of describing appearance, making specific requests, communicating preferences to a professional, all of that transfers directly to haircut appointments, spa days, styling consultations. This is real-world professional request English wrapped in the most adorable topic possible.
Let us start at the very beginning. You call to book an appointment. This is actually where a lot of learners freeze because the phone call has no visual cues. You cannot point at anything. You have to describe everything with words. And the very first thing a groomer will ask you on the phone is, "What breed is your dog?" Now, you might know the breed name in your own language, but not in English. So the chunk that saves you here is, "My dog is a mix. He looks mostly like a..." My dog is a mix. He looks mostly like a... My dog is a mix. He looks mostly like a...
That phrase is so useful because the truth is a lot of dogs are mixed breeds, and saying he looks mostly like a golden retriever but smaller is completely valid and totally understood at any grooming salon. Groomers work with mixed breeds constantly. They're not going to quiz you on your dog's DNA results. They just need enough information to understand the coat type and the size. My dog is a mix. He looks mostly like a blank. That's your opening line.
And speaking of coat type, let us go into some vocabulary that is absolutely essential for grooming conversations. The first word is coat, C-O-A-T. In pet grooming, coat means your dog's fur or hair, not a jacket. The coat. And coats come in different types, and the type determines everything about what the groomer will do. The main coat types you need to know in English are short coat, long coat, double coat, curly coat, and wiry coat. Short coat, long coat, double coat, curly coat, wiry coat. Say those with me one more time. Short coat, long coat, double coat, curly coat, wiry coat.
And the reason coat type matters so much is that different coats need completely different grooming techniques. A double coat, which is 2 layers of fur like you find on huskies or golden retrievers, should never be shaved down. A curly coat, like a poodle or a doodle, needs regular trimming, or it mats. A wiry coat, like a schnauzer, has a completely different texture that requires a specific technique called hand stripping. So when you tell the groomer your dog's coat type, you're giving them professional information that helps them do their job better. And knowing this vocabulary makes you look like a dog owner who knows what they're talking about.
Now let's get into the most exciting part, describing the specific style you want, because this is where the real English learning happens. And the sentence structure that opens this conversation perfectly is, "I would like to keep it." I would like to keep it. One more time. I would like to keep it. This is your foundation. I would like to keep it long on the body, but shorter on the face. I would like to keep it fluffy on top, but neat around the paws. I would like to keep it natural looking, just cleaned up. I would like to keep it. That phrase puts you in charge of the appointment immediately. You aren't asking what they think, you're telling them your vision.
And connected to that, there are two vocabulary words that are the most important words in the entire grooming vocabulary. The first is trim, T-R-I-M. Trim means to cut a small amount, just enough to tidy up. Not a dramatic change, not a transformation, just a little off. Just a trim, please, or could you just trim the ears? Trim. And the second word is shave, S-H-A-V-E. Shave means to cut very short, very close to the skin, very different from trim. I would like the belly shaved means very short. I would like the belly trimmed means just tidied up. Trim versus shave. That distinction alone will save your dog from many traumatic haircut experiences.
The difference between trim and shave is the difference between cute summer haircut and my dog looks like a completely naked chicken. Please learn both words. Now let's go deeper into style vocabulary because gourmet bakeries have flavor profiles and dog groomers have cut styles. There are actual named styles in professional dog grooming, and knowing even 2 or 3 of them will absolutely impress any groomer you meet.
The first style name is the puppy cut. This is one of the most commonly requested styles in English-speaking grooming salons, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The dog's fur is cut to an even length all over the body, usually about 1 to 2 inches, so they look young and fluffy and adorable no matter how old they actually are. Could you give him a puppy cut, please? A puppy cut. Those 3 words and every groomer in the world knows exactly what you mean.
The second style is the teddy bear cut. I know, but this is a real professional term, and it's wildly popular. The teddy bear cut keeps the fur rounded and fluffy, especially around the face, so the dog looks like a stuffed animal. Round face, fluffy body, button nose effect. If you have a doodle or a Bichon or a Shih Tzu and you want maximum cuteness, you ask for the teddy bear cut. Could you do a teddy bear cut for her? A teddy bear cut. Your dog, a living stuffed animal? You're welcome.
My dog has had approximately 47 teddy bear cuts in her life. She's aware of how cute she is. It's a problem. The third style vocabulary is not a named cut, but a description method that professional groomers use constantly. The phrase is breed standard. When you say you want your dog to look breed standard, it means you want them groomed to look exactly the way their breed is supposed to look according to official dog show standards. Could you groom him to look breed standard? Breed standard. This is an advanced phrase. When you drop this phrase in a grooming salon, you will get a very impressed look from the groomer. Very impressed.
Now let's talk about something that is incredibly important in grooming appointments and things that learners almost never prepare vocabulary for. Sensitive areas and things you do not want the groomer to do, because your dog has preferences too, and more importantly, your dog can't tell the groomer themselves, so you're their voice. And the chunk for this is, he's a little sensitive around his. He's a little sensitive around his. He's a little sensitive around his.
3 times because this one genuinely matters. So you might say, he's a little sensitive around his ears, so please be gentle there. Or she's a little sensitive around her paws. She doesn't love having her nails done. Or he's a little sensitive around his face. He gets anxious when anything comes near his eyes. A little sensitive around is such a professional, calm phrase. It gives the groomer important safety information without making it sound dramatic. It also shows you know your dog deeply, and groomers absolutely respect that. They want that information. It makes their job easier and your dog's experience safer.
And the sentence that pairs perfectly with that is, could you please be extra gentle with? Could you please be extra gentle with? Could you please be extra gentle with his face? Or could you please be extra gentle with her back legs? She had surgery last year. Could you please be extra gentle with? That phrase communicates care, it communicates trust. You are handing your dog over to this person, and that phrase says, I trust you, and I need you to treat my baby the way I would treat my baby.
And my baby. Let us talk about that for a second, because in English-speaking dog culture, calling your dog your baby is completely normal and completely accepted. You will hear dog owners say my baby, my fur baby, my little one, my guy, my girl. These are all natural, warm, affectionate ways to refer to your dog in conversation with a groomer. The groomer will use the same language back to you. They might say, oh, she is such a sweet girl, or your little guy did so well today. This language creates warmth and trust. And in a grooming context where your dog is in someone else's hands for 2 hours, that warmth matters enormously.
Now let us talk about add-on services because modern grooming salons offer so much more than just a wash and a haircut. And knowing the vocabulary for these services means you can actually ask for them instead of just nodding when someone lists them and having no idea what you agreed to. The most common add-on services in English are de-shedding treatment, teeth brushing, ear cleaning, nail grinding, paw balm, and bandana or bow. Let me say those again. De-shedding treatment, teeth brushing, ear cleaning, nail grinding, paw balm, bandana, or bow. Now you know exactly what is on that menu.
The bandana or bow. This is actually where I went wrong once. The groomer asked me bow or bandana, and I panicked and said yes, and my dog came out with both, a bow and a bandana simultaneously. He looked like he was attending a wedding and also going camping at the same time. He seemed fine with it, actually. He held it with dignity.
He held it with dignity. Your dog is stronger than all of us. Okay, now here's a phrase that is going to completely change your pickup conversation at the end of the appointment. When you come to pick up your dog and the groomer tells you how the appointment went, the most natural, engaged response is, how did he do? How did he do? How did he do? These 4 words are magic. They immediately show you are an attentive, caring dog owner. They invite the groomer to share information about your dog's behavior and any notes for next time. And they start a warm conversation that makes the whole experience feel personal rather than transactional.
And the groomer will usually tell you something like he was an angel, or she was a little nervous at first but settled in beautifully, or he's not a huge fan of the dryer but we got through it. And your follow-up to any of those answers is the chunk, good to know, I will keep that in mind for next time. Good to know, I will keep that in mind for next time. That response makes you sound like a completely fluent, thoughtful, professional dog parent in every possible way.
Now let us talk about the vocabulary of feedback, because sometimes the groom doesn't come out exactly how you imagined, and you have to say something. But you can't just say, this is wrong, because that's too blunt and it damages the relationship with your groomer. And you can't say nothing, because then it happens again next time. The sentence structure that threads that needle perfectly is, I love it overall, but next time could we try... I love it overall, but next time could we try... I love it overall, but next time could we try...
So you might say, I love it overall, but next time could we leave a little more length on the ears? I love the fluffy ear look. Or I love it overall, but next time could we go a little shorter on the body? I like him really neat. That structure, I love it overall, but next time could we try, does something very specific and very smart. It leads with appreciation, it acknowledges the work, and then it redirects for the future. It doesn't criticize, it collaborates. That energy will make your groomer want to get it perfect for you every single time.
Now let's walk through a full grooming appointment conversation, from the phone booking all the way to pickup. Tom, you're the groomer. I'm the dog owner.
Perfect, and I will mention my character groomer is very enthusiastic about dogs, just so we're prepared for that energy.
Understood. Here we go. Hi, I'd like to book a grooming appointment for my dog, please.
Of course, we would love to have him in. What breed is he?
He's a mix, actually. He looks mostly like a golden retriever, but smaller. He has a long, double coat, very fluffy.
Oh, gorgeous. We love a fluffy double coat boy. And what are we doing today? Full groom?
Yes, a full groom, please. I'd like to keep it long on the body, but I'd love a teddy bear cut on the face. He's been looking a little wild lately.
Wild is our specialty. Any add-ons? We do de-shedding treatment, which is perfect for double coats.
Yes, let's do the de-shedding treatment. And teeth brushing, please. Oh, and I should mention, he's a little sensitive around his ears. Could you please be extra gentle with them? He doesn't love anything near his ears.
Absolutely. I'll make a note right now. Gentle on the ears. We'll take great care of your little guy. He's going to look amazing.
2 hours later, picking up, how did he do?
He was an absolute angel. He was a little unsure about the dryer at first, but once he settled in, he was perfect. And can I just say, the teddy bear cut on this face is everything. He looks like a stuffed animal. I'm obsessed with him.
Oh my goodness, he looks incredible. I love it overall, but next time could we try leaving just a little more length on the paws? I love that fluffy paw look.
Yes, absolutely noted. Fluffy paws next time. Here's his little bandana. He wore it the whole appointment.
He's so dignified. Thank you so much. And scene. And my dog is objectively the most beautiful creature on earth.
Objectively, no debate. Let's do our full review now because repetition is the whole game with language learning.
The first chunk, my dog is a mix. He looks mostly like your phone booking opener, confident, descriptive, completely natural. My dog is a mix. He looks mostly like
The coat vocabulary: short coat, long coat, double coat, curly coat, wiry coat. Know your dog's coat type. Say it with confidence. The groomer will respect you immediately.
the style sentence. I'd like to keep it your creative direction. I'd like to keep it long on the body, but shorter on the face. I'd like to keep it, and the named styles: puppy cut, teddy bear cut, breed standard. 3 style terms that will upgrade every grooming conversation you ever have.
The essential vocabulary: trim versus shave. Trim is a little off. Shave is very short. Please know the difference. Your dog will thank you. Just a trim, or could you shave the belly area? Trim versus shave.
The sensitivity chunk. He's a little sensitive around his, combined with, could you please be extra gentle with? These 2 phrases protect your dog and build trust with your groomer every time.
The pickup question: how did he do? 4 words, huge impact. Shows you care, starts a warm conversation. How did he do? And the follow-up: good to know, I will keep that in mind for next time. Good to know, I will keep that in mind for next time.
And the feedback structure. I love it overall, but next time could we try appreciative, collaborative, forward-looking. Gets you the perfect groom every time. I love it overall, but next time could we try
Your homework this week. If you have a dog, write out a complete grooming request for your dog using today's vocabulary: coat type, style preference, sensitive areas, and 1 add-on service. Write the whole thing out. Say it aloud 3 times, then go book that appointment and use it for real.
And if you don't have a dog, write a grooming request for your dream dog in the comments. What breed, what coat, what style, teddy bear cut or puppy cut, bandana or bow. Write it out using today's vocabulary and read what other people wrote. Reply to someone whose dream dog sounds amazing, because this comment section is becoming the most wholesome English practice community on the entire internet, and we're very proud of that.
And here's our comment challenge for this week. Tell us one thing about your dog or your dream dog using the phrase, he's a little sensitive around. Give us the details. We want to know everything. The more specific, the better. Drop it in the comments. We read everything.
If this episode made you want to immediately go hug a dog, first of all, same. And second of all, share this episode with every dog owner you know who is learning English, because this vocabulary is genuinely useful. And also, it gives people an excuse to talk about their dogs for 15 minutes, which is always a good time.
Follow Next Level English wherever you listen to podcasts. New episode every week. Real vocabulary, real situations, real confidence. I'm Tom.
And I'm Maya. Your dog deserves a great haircut, and you deserve the English to ask for exactly that. See you in the next episode. Go hug something fluffy.